One of the jobs I really like is talking to the producers and the directors, and I really enjoy that. And I feel that I've got a good relationship with them. And when you have a good relationship, that helps you to take some chances musically and creatively and not feel too self-conscious. So I'm also reticent of, if I take on an assistant, I want to give them or build them at least to an interesting, fully rounded job. It's a trust thing about just wanting to protect what I have and build it. But I think what Hope said about taking notes, say, on those Zoom calls when you're doing that, seems like an ideal way actually to sort of set the tone and have somebody be involved and yet not necessarily be directly doing the talking to begin with, be the person who's kind of observing and taking some notes and still learning.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing I want to hammer home, is that your assistant generally will be a green composer. So they absolutely shouldn't be given, I mean, it's great when you get someone who can eventually talk to clients, but your composer assistant is coming in not being a high level composer, right? So you have to expect failure at some point in every area.
Yeah.
And when that failure happens, the first thing you need to ask yourself as a composer is, what did I do wrong? And this is really important. How did I not adequately explain this? How can I communicate this better? The onus is on you. And if you as an assistant have someone who's like expecting you to be right, like at everything at the beginning, well, then you need to be paid better, and you need to be at a higher level. Like you're a team member, you're not an assistant. You know what I mean? There's kind of these grades that I consider, are important when looking at how people function within your team. So as a composer comes in, they're learning about your style, but they're also learning about how to function in a professional composer studio. And by the time they leave, this is why Robin is my business partner now, because he knows how to do everything. And he's worked in my studio and he's worked in another person's studio. And so, I mean, we're all still learning as composers, but, I know I can trust him to perform at a certain level, but that certainly wasn't the case when he first came in and started working with me. Sometimes you're on a project and you need help, and hiring an assistant is not the right call. You need to hire someone that's almost a someone who's at your level. If you have, a project that came in and you need it live recorded, and that really needs to happen in a 2-week period, then you need to hire someone who's a baller orchestrator and copyist and doesn't need anything from you except your sessions. They know what to do. They've done this a million times before. So it's really important for the composer, in order not to get frustrated or completely screwed in a project, to understand the kind of help you need right now. Can you have someone come in who's an assistant who, you have a little bit of time to explain to them, and if they screw it up the first time, it's okay. There's time for them to redo it well. Yeah. And that's good for you because eventually you get what you want, and it's good for them because they learn how to do it. Or do you need someone who gets it right immediately and you have no time to say anything to them? That's not an entry-level assistant. That's someone who's been your assistant for 3 years and is probably about to graduate and is doing their own projects, or that's a fellow composer that you bring on to help you out on that thing.
Yeah, that's a really, really interesting point. That's great. Thank you.